So I've been thinking all day about how this channel began as a video diary of my experiences woven into my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions about my life and my philosophies. It just hasn't been feeling quite right lately. And I was thinking today about how it might be time to make a shift. I've been thinking about wanting to tap into my channeling abilities, and instead of just focusing on myself, I want to try opening myself up to spirit and anyone else that wants to come through, to see if there are messages for the collective, the people that are watching this video, the people that are drawn into this channel, because there's something about this energy that is bringing you here. So with that being said, I don't necessarily have a process. I don't necessarily have a script, but I just want to take this time to listen. I'm getting the reminder that you can't rush. When you're on a public platform, there's a tendency to cut out breaths and to cut out every moment that's not filling the airways. There's no time for silence. There's no time for a deep breath. There's so much busyness in our day. And it's really challenging to find space to rest efficiently. I'm getting reminded of Yoga Nidra as a practice. I actually just got an email. It's popped up a few times. I never completed my meditation teacher training. I've started so many trainings. I never complete them. I love learning, but I really don't like school and assignments and sitting down to do modules. I just find it to be so boring. But the woman whose teacher training for meditation that I took has sent me an email saying there's a Yoga Nidra teacher training. And Yoga Nidra is this really interesting style, but it's essentially a guided meditation, and there's some nuance to it. There's, different stages to prepare the body to get into the state of deep rest, and it's sometimes referred to as a yogic sleep. And they say that, you know, a 30-minute yoga nidra session is the equivalent of like 3 hours of sleep, because it can just totally reset your nervous system, and it puts your brain into the same state as sleeping. I'm getting reminded about how a big part of the practice can be setting an intention, or a sankalpa. I don't know if I'm going to say it correctly, but a sankalpa, I believe. Sankalpa. But essentially, when you are in this state, in the middle of the practice, you set this sankalpa. Like planting a seed. I'm just thinking about the heart as this garden that you tend to. I'm also thinking about how I saw this post about how wearing pink can indicate healing of the feminine. I've always avoided pink. I've always said to myself, I'm a redhead, I can't wear pink. And I've always found it to be a super girly color, and I've just always rejected that. I've always had issues with females. I've had issues with accepting and loving and, you know, being comfortable in the feminine aspect of myself. I'm always trying to live in the masculine. The work, the doing, the providing, the creating from this very active place, but I've been playing around a lot with the idea of the receptivity of the feminine and the submission. My husband and I joke a lot about how, like, he's like, you're a dom, but like, I just have, it's like a control thing, and it's like, it always has to be your way. And it's so true. I was always the kid. I was always the, you know, when you're in a group project, people take on certain roles. And even when I'm at work, like, I'm always the person that does everything, because I feel like nobody ever does enough. Nobody ever pulls their weight. No one ever does it right. So I just do it myself because I want it to be done. And I always do more than, you know, my fair share, because I'm always trying to do more, always. We went out to eat, and the server said, you know, do you want salad or chips and whatever? And I knew my husband was going to say chips, but I wanted salad. So he was the one ordering, but I cut in and I was like, salad. And then I looked at him and I said, you were going to make the wrong choice. I have a hard time letting go. I have a hard time releasing control. I have a hard time allowing things to be not my way or the perfect way. And I want to practice the art of surrender and the art of just doing it. Like, here I am with no lighting and super messy house behind me. I put the TV on. I was gonna watch a show. I started I started a great show. I don't watch a ton of TV, but I started the show Shrinking, starring Jason Segel and Harrison Ford, and I love it. I'm on season 2 now, and it's a really good show. It's nice to have something to watch. I don't watch a ton of TV, but I do appreciate a good show every once in a while. And so I've been trying to encourage myself to rest and watch a TV show and not get so down in the dumps because I'm not writing or journaling or cleaning my house, or like I'm constantly pushing. I've done so much work. I'm constantly trying to make things happen, actively trying to manifest, but it just doesn't feel like it's working for me. It feels like it's causing problems, and it feels like the shadow side of me is coming out, the need to control and the fears. And that's an incomplete thought because I think it's kind of new, or something that I haven't tapped in deep enough, and I haven't done enough work to transform this side of myself. So I just don't feel like I have the depth of understanding yet to explain, but this is just the beginning of it. My journey to being a sub. So interesting. Anyways, I hope you're well. If you're here, thank you for listening and being a part of the journey. This still ended up being about me, didn't it? This really wasn't like a chilled message. I have to release. Whatever comes through, comes through. The point is just to show up and put the sets and reps in and leave it to spirit to see what happens. Okay. To new beginnings.